We still do 7 NUFC Matters show a week for free. But if you want to help support NUFC Matters, then there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast and video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications bell so you don't miss a single show. If you want to help us financially, then you can join the channel using this button with the membership starting at $1.99 a month. Or you can drop us a donation in the chat using a super sticker. We're also looking for sponsors. If you'd like your brand advertised on the flyers for the show and featured during the ad break, then email john@nufcmatters.com.
Good evening, welcome to NUFC Matters with me, Steve Raitt. It is the start of another week, and it is welcome to the Fans Forum. Darren, Chippers, George, Barry, Dunnell, Alan, Ian and Kevin joining us tonight to have their say on all things Newcastle United. And just before we start, we are a football show. We might be a Newcastle show, but we always like to pay respect to legends who we lose. Not one who played for Newcastle, of course, but Franny Lee has passed away today after a battle with cancer. A true Manchester City legend and somebody who I think you'll have seen, George, and probably seen play against Newcastle and do quite well.
Many times, yeah. Really clinical finisher, but strong, a bit like Len White was for us. Very strong lower body, and you couldn't shift him off the ball for anything. And scored some spectacular goals. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. We're passing our best, and a lot of people already saying in the chat as well. Yeah, rest in peace. Paul is just one of many who says Manchester City and England legend. So yes, our thoughts with his family. So Darren, Newcastle United couldn't keep a clean sheet, couldn't buy a win in those opening games. But what a run we're on now, and a 2-0 win against Burnley at the weekend. Not the prettiest of displays, but another win, another clean sheet, Darren.
Yes, the main thing we won, and that's the most important thing. But a few negative things. Dan Burn was shocking. I think he needs to be dropped because if he's playing anybody fast, he's getting done like a kipper. At the worst game I've seen him play in a while, in a long time. He kind of had a ball on Saturday. Eddie Anderson just done all right. He didn't know great. He got but the man of the match. Well, it was two Sean Longstaff and Andy Gordon outstanding, and Bruno's getting back to his best. But Sean Longstaff, you can tell he's back in the team, and Andy Gordon's he's getting better and better every game. Unfortunately, got to get a course we can't play on Sunday against West Ham, so that's a big blow. So. Hopefully, but we won. The main thing we won, and I'm happy. You know.
Well, you don't sound it. I've got to be honest. You sound depressed with it. I'm going to take a second just to say I do disagree with you on Dan Burn. I do think that Dan Burn has got to be given time. I think he's the latest in a long line of whipping boys. I think we've always got to have somebody to complain about. It's all about opinions. I personally didn't think Dan Burn was that bad. people are going to attack that side because he's not the quickest. But he's part of a back four that did really well last season, continues now to do well this season, and I think he'll play Wednesday. I've had this conversation. I met Liam Kennedy today for a coffee, and we both agree that we think he'll play Wednesday. I think they might change the formation slightly. I think whoever's on the left-hand side, it could be Anthony Gordon, might have to double up. They might have to play two against, two down that side. He might have to get support down that side. But I think Dan Burn will play. And stats, like Andy says, do prove that Dan Burn isn't having a bad season. So it's all about opinions. It is all about opinions, and that's why we do the fans forum. It's good to get different opinions on you, because what you're saying is what I've heard a lot of people say. David says, yeah, Byrne had a good game. He slipped, but he ran like the clappers to trap back and put a tackle in. I tell you, there's one bit, Darren, and I saw it during the game. I tell you what made me proud to be a Geordie, and that was when Dan Byrne, Sean Longstaff and Elliot Anderson surrounded the Burnley player to get the ball back off them. They all went across together. It was like the three of them. They surrounded the player and we won the ball back. And I thought, you know what? Three lads from the northeast all playing together. It was just great to see. You know what I mean? They get it. And he'd be proud as punch on Wednesday to play. But it's all about opinions, Darren. We all see something different, you know. Chippers, what did you see? What was your take on Saturday's game against Burnley?
I thought if you take the first 10 minutes out, it was a complete stroll. I thought we didn't really need to do much to beat them. I think once they missed that chance early on, I thought the heads just dropped, and I thought we got the first goal with Miggy, and then after that, we never looked like losing. It was just one of them games where we just strolled through it. Really, we didn't really have to excel ourselves. We didn't really have to go up any gears. We just had to pass it around. We just kept the ball and got the job done. At the end, it was unfortunate we had a couple of players injured, but it is what it is. It's no coincidence we're playing well since Longstaff's come back in the team and got some game time under his belt, because we look a completely different side with him in centre midfield. Bruno looks a different player with him playing. Even Tonali looks better with him playing. It's no coincidence as well that we started our pressing again's come back in the last few weeks, which is massive. Even Isak was doing it the other night, which I was a bit quizzical of him doing it because I didn't see him really doing it early on, but he's starting to do it now. And it's been a good few weeks. 5 clean sheets in a row. I know we've had obviously with Joe Linton picking up a niggle and things like that, but we've got these 2 games coming up this week, and then we've got an international break. So hopefully after that we can get players back. Lascelles looks a completely different player now compared to the one that I seen the last time before Eddie Howe came in. He looks like the player he was when Rafa was here, if I'm being honest. Trippier again, he's just oozes class at right back. I thought, Burns started shaky on Saturday, but then he got into the game, and I thought he looked pretty fine. Like I said, I think the 3 teams that have come up look really poor, if I'm being honest, and they look like 3 that'll go straight back down if you put everything into that bracket as well. But again, we've done what we've had to do. We've got 3 points. A couple of years ago, it would have been a banana skin, but these games now seem to be just routine, and we'll get the job done. And it's a case of now, for me, is performances. The do and don't matter when you've got 3 games in a week. If you just keep the momentum going by picking up 3 points or winning games, that's all that matters. The performances are relevant. You look at, say, like, I hate to mention Liverpool because of what's going on, but you look at the end of last season, they just kept winning games. They weren't playing well, but they kept winning. That's what we're sort of doing at the minute. We're just getting the results, getting the job done next game. So that's what I'm pleased about. And you know, we can only get better. It can only breed confidence. And like with the injuries we've still got players like Bob to come back, Willett to come back. Joe Linton will be fully fit soon, eventually. Wilson's got to play as well. So we can only get better with results. So all's good. Bring on PSG.
Yeah, bring on PSG. George, good evening, mate.
Hello.
2-0 win. How did you see it, George?
Well, for me, the upside, you've already mentioned it, that the local lads dominated the field for me, including Dan Byrne. I've got to say, he does have these moments when it looks like he's a mile behind, but his big strides gets him out of trouble. quite often. And that's not unusual for a really big guy. I thought Elliot Anderson, had he had the look to slide one of those chances in that he got, he would have been the man of the match. He was just superb. And having got starting time, we're now seeing the rewards for giving him that chance. And has already been said, we are definitely a better team with Longstaff in the team. There's no doubt about it. And how the England manager can completely ignore him now, I think, is beyond the pale. I mean, if that had been Calvin Phillips on Saturday, the national press would have been saying how great he was, how good he was. Not going to do it for Sean Longstaff. And because Sean's there and the way things panned out, Bruno just controlled the game. He just sat back and controlled the game from his deeper role, and obviously enjoyed it as I did. The big downer for me was I'd targeted this game for me come back to St James's Park, but I hadn't counted on a bloody bus strike, had I? so I get all ready. I've even washed my scarf and everything's fine. And I ring for my taxi. Oh, we'll send it for you in about an hour and a half, Mr. Mitchell. What? An hour and a half? She says, well, don't you know there's a bus strike on? I said, no, I didn't know there was a bus. So I watched it at home. But yeah, I mean, what I've seen is I'm a happy bunny, really. As the lads said, Chip has just said, they're grinding it out, whether it's pretty or not. They're winning games and winning them with clean sheets. And there could have been banana skins, absolutely right. But I mean, there's a time when Burnley were around and other teams as well, and if they'd said, God, Jay Rodriguez is coming on as a substitute, you'd have been panicking. No panicking on Saturday. He was just a non-entity, and that was because of the way our defence handled it. And the last thing is, if the England manager cannot find a place in his back four for Kieran Trippier, then he must be very well off for defenders, because he was outstanding. A really high class, I thought. Not just good, he was outstanding. And from right back, that's not always easy. His crosses were meant. It was just great, absolutely great. So, nice one from me. I've got no complaint. I'd like to see a couple more goals, and there could have been a couple of more goals. And had one of those been Anderson, or two of them even, when he had the chances, he'd have been man of the match. But fantastic for me, fantastic.
Okay, great stuff, George. Barry, from your point of view, you'll have watched it. You'll have seen the highlights. This wasn't televised, this game, so difficult to catch any full game highlights for you. But you'll have seen match of the day, I would imagine, and seen the goals. And yeah, Dan Burn getting a bit of flack as well. What's your take on all of this, Barry?
I'm totally a huge Big Dan fan. He did have it. I'll give it. He had a bad 10 minutes, but then so did other players throughout the game where the players went missing. And I think for me, he still looks the best left back we've got at the club. I don't think Target's getting back to the sort of ability that he showed very early on in his Newcastle career. I think it'll be a while before Hall gets up to speed. He didn't look amazing when he's come on the last couple of games. I think Burn is still the best left back we've got. And he just seems to have that confidence to get himself out of trouble, like George says. He's got such long strides. I love the guy. I think, again, and being a Geordie, I think he's just got 200% passion. I can't see them not playing him at the minute. I know, like I say, I think other people are making mistakes as well. I totally agree with George. I thought Elliot Anderson was superb. I was praying for one of them to go in for him, because he just feels he's had a couple of really good chances. He had the goal disallowed, and you just thought, how weird, man. At some stage, he's going to get something, because he deserves it. He's given 200% again. He's getting stuck in. I thought Gordon had another good game. The only thing that disappoints with Gordon is the amount of bookings he's picking up. You're thinking, Howe needs to say to him, look, you were an important player. You're one of our best players on the pitch. We can't afford you to go missing every now and again, because you're picking up lots of bookings and lots of yellow cards. I thought Miggy's goal was tremendous. I was over the moon for him because I thought he'd had a decent game, and the goal was absolutely spot on. I think it was against Steve. It was an all-round good team performance. We were nowhere near the best we've played, and yet we still turned them over quite comfortably in the end. I think, like the guys have said, apart from very early on in the game, Burnley didn't look as though they were in it. I never once felt like we were in any danger against them, and it God helps some team when we do actually hit 100% and we start to play really well, because we are going to, like Mitch has said now and again, we're going to wallop somebody. We're going to give somebody a good hammering because we will hit that class form. And I think, like the guy said as well, Bruno was just absolutely spot on. But I totally agree. I think that is as much down to Sean Longstaff being in the team as it is anything else. I'm over the moon to see him back in the side.
Yeah, I would agree with you. He's the glue that holds our team together. It's no surprise to me that our results have picked up since Longstaff came in. I've got to be honest, I wasn't a huge Longstaff fan when everybody was going on about him when Steve Bruce was at the club. But Eddie Howe's found an extra dimension out of him, and just the amount of distance that he covers on the pitch. I think there was some stat that Sky produced about Longstaff after the Sheffield United game, the week where we played Milan and we played 2 Premier League games either side. Longstaff covered 10 kilometres in each of those games. That's phenomenal that's phenomenal work rate. Donald, good evening. Your take on the game at the weekend, mate?
I think, first of all, Miggy's goal, I think we've seen goal of the month there and a goal of the season contender there. But you won't see that played over and over on Sky Sports because he plays for us. That pass from Bruno, that was a quality bit of play. And if Isak could have put that away, that would have been another contender for goal of the month, because the vision, the pinpoint accuracy of that pass was great. I thought Burnley were quite physical, and the referees really didn't get a grip on the game in terms of the physicality of it. Shame Gordon's got another booking, but I think in Gordon, we've got a player there who obviously a great player, but he's a bit like Bellamy. He plays on the edge. He has that edge to his game, and but it's up to how to find how he's going to sort of keep that in check. But we're not our best, but hey ho, 3 points, 8th position, PSD to come. Bring it on.
Yeah, great stuff. I did see a comment in the chat, Alan. Good evening. Has Alan got the relegation battle out of his mind yet?
Well, to be honest, lads, we're clawing our way out of it, and now it's going to be a massive mid-table battle against West Ham on Sunday, lads. That's what we've got. We've clawed our way out of it, and now we're going for a mid-table battle. It was a great professional performance on Saturday. I was worried, like Chipper said, because normally these are banana skins forward, and we scrolled through it. I went through, a couple of Burnley fans' podcasts about them, and they were saying they couldn't believe Newcastle's press, which is great. Like most lads, we've only seen the highlights of the game, like I did. And for the opposing side to say that our press was unbelievable makes us think, we might get over the halfway line against PSG on Wednesday night, lads. So I'm hoping for better on Wednesday. 8th in Milan was terrible, really. If you were looking at it from a neutral, but it was a great defensive performance. I cannot knock it. But I look at it, you win games by scoring goals. But then again, the better half says, we're all new to the Champions League, so I give them the benefit of the doubt. It was a great point. But getting back to the Burnley game before we go on to the others, great professional performance, another clean sheet, lads. Trippier, fantastic. Great goal by Mickey. Keep it rolling on. The 2 tests are coming now, lads. Honestly, I know I'm jumping ahead, Steve, but West Ham for me is far more important than PSG for me, and that will tell you where we are. Injuries or no injuries, we should be able to take care of West Ham. And to me, that's going to be the true test to me for where this season is going to go for me personally. PSG are a class act. Forget about this rubbish they drew on Saturday. They'll be a class act. If we get any, I'll pose this question to the lads. will they expect the same performance against Milan and accept the draw now? Or do you want to attack and play better and get beat? It's big one. PSG are class act, lads. Class act.
Well, it's interesting now because Michael West put the question for the panel: sacrifice a draw against PSG for a win against West Ham, and Alan's just said that. You know, the West Ham game is important because ultimately Newcastle United want to qualify for the Champions League season after season after season. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is an interesting question. Well, we'll come to it when we ask the lads the predictions for the PSV game and see what. Oh yeah, I agree with you. I mean, and just wanting to, you know, I think it was Barry talking about Joe Linton saying about Gordon picking up the bookings. I agree, but that's because he's having to do what Joe Linton does. And Joe Linton was picking up a booking virtually every other game, playing exactly the same way because he clearly has to be more physical. I think Anderson's been asked to do the same job, be box to box. Forget about creativity, box to box, getting stuck in. It's the mantra of Eddie Howe's team this season. We're defending in numbers. We're defending from the front, and we're being more aggressive this year. And I don't mind. You know, at times I've got to be perfectly honest, but it's interesting. We'll come to you now, Ian. Your take on the game. It was good to catch up with you, by the way.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you, mate, and Darren, of course, as well. We had a drink before the game, which was great. But yeah, what did you make of it, mate?
Well, first of all, can I just say thanks to Alan for bringing the atmosphere right down before I come on. Hell, man. He's more miserable than flipping Morrissey, isn't he?
Where I get it from, Ian, is because I try not to look at it from simply black and white eyes, and when I go on all the podcasts, you should see that, you know, I'm like yous. I'm like tearing my hair out the screens because if you get it on a podcast with Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, and Man City fans, they've got no respect for us whatsoever.
No. I'm only joking, Al.
Yeah, no problem.
I disagree with.
Sometimes it's a wind up by me, you know, like a relegation battle, but it's to spur them on for people to realise that it's not all black and white. I've got no illusions on Wednesday night. It's going to be a very, very tough game.
It is, but what you've got to do, you just got to enjoy it. This is what we played last season for. Don't go into this PSG game thinking we're going to win this, we're going to do it. Just enjoy it. If we win, it's a bonus. PSG is the biggest game at St. James's Park since Barcelona, and we'll come to that in due course. But Ian, Burnley.
Yeah, so I first 10 minutes, I sort of agree with all the lads. First 10 minutes, we were shaky, but we that's a sort of that's something that's happened all season, and it's getting less and less now. Dan made a few mistakes early doors, but I thought he picked it up well after that, and I didn't. He was a bit ropey in the first 10-15 minutes, but after that I thought he did okay. He definitely will play for me against PSG. I'm not going to go over everything everyone else has said with regards to all the players because I just agree with everything and we'll just be regurgitating the same stuff. And now because you've got that many adverts now, Steve, you know we're limited for time. Brilliant. I love the performance. We had 20 shots, 9 on target, something like that. With 8 on target, I think, something around that figure. So if that's us not playing at our best, which I actually truly do think it is, it's not that bad, is it? You know what I mean? So, onwards and upwards. We just did what we needed to do, professional performance. Another good performance from Lascelles to me. 1 mistake, maybe 2 mistakes in the whole game. You know, flipping out, you would have had that in the first 10 minutes a year or two ago. So, I thought all the lads did really well, and onwards and upwards. I think we'll. As long as we take it, don't get overawed, which I don't think we will against PSG, we'll give them a game, and I can honestly see us beating them because they'll not be up for it as much as we are. That's 100%.
Yeah. Okay, Kev, give us your take on the old Burnley game.
Very comfortable after 10 minutes. Just to get the Dan Burn thing, the word what we're probably looking for is sloppy. Not at a high level in terms of concentration levels, really, because you give the ball away, he slipped. I mean, he slips, but it is what it is. But again, just simple passes to a wide man and he kicks the ball out of play. I mean, that's basic passing the ball with your dominant foot to a wide man. I mean, that's just how I see it. And not that he had a bad game or whatever. It's just the concentration levels where I think needs to happen. But also you got to take into consideration that he's been unwell for a period of time. So does that have an effect on the performance? I think it does. You know, so you just come back in.
Why is he playing then if he's not?
Well, exactly that. Well, hey, look, obviously he's well enough to play, but at the same time, that's Eddie's choice and it's on the play. You know what I mean. But I'm not saying that's an excuse or whatever. But at the same time, it probably does have a little bit of effect. We all know for being sick or not very well, it would takes a period of time to recover from that. And you know, you're playing a high level game. Just want to talk about Burnley. I thought they played quite well, to be honest. They tried to play. They tried to play out from the back. They tried to miss out our press. So fair play to Burnley, because normally in a team in the bottom three who are fighting for their lives to try and get points will just sit and try and sneak one and get 1-0 win. But they didn't.
Nothing in the final third though at all.
Exactly, that's right. So again, it's a double-edged sword for them. They try to play, which I appreciated actually them to come up to us and say, "Oh, we'll not have a full goal, but we'll at least show what we can do and prove that we're not a bad side." But yeah, it was just comfortable again. Like I said, agree with everybody. The 5 clean sheets, great finish from Miggy, clinical penalty. Man of the match for me was Gordon, but it was immature in terms of how he's got his yellow card. And I think that's what he's got to shirk a little bit. He's a bit of immaturity. Kicking the ball away when you don't really have to kick the ball away, just getting back into shape and deal with the free kick what's put in front of you. We didn't go like I think Mitch said on the professionals last night. We could have went to another level easily. I mean, it's like second gear. I mean, we just got through the game, done what we had to do, and got a comfortable, which is weird, a comfortable 2-0 Premier League win, which we haven't said for years. But for me, outside of all that, Bruno just oozes class. I mean, that chest pass he made, and I just put my hand over my face and I said, just stop it, son. I mean, but don't stop it. But it was just ridiculous. The audacity to do that in the middle of midfield with pressure on you to play a chest pass wide. I mean, and then get the return ball and then to go forward. I mean, he's back to pretty much his best. And I think the contract issues, all the things surrounding the noise around it, I think that's been sort of tapered and moved on. And so I think that's just relieved him a bit of pressure in letting him play his football. So yeah, it was a nice, comfortable 2-0 victory, which is, like I said, very rare to say in the Premier League. You don't very rarely get them when we don't even hit 4th or 5th gear yet.
Yeah. Okay. We've looked ahead. We've looked back at the Burnley game. We're going to look ahead to PSG after those ads that Ian likes. Ian can go and smoke 3 cigarettes, have 2 pints of lager, a curry, go walk the dog, take his lass out for a night out, and then we'll be back after this. A big thanks to all our sponsors: Skips and Bins, telephone 0800 25 45 25 3, email inquiries at skipsandbins.com, website www.skipsandbins.com, easy contract free and pay-as-you-go waste collection. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can order yours today by emailing info@mrvickys.co.uk or telephoning 01768 210 102. Or go to the website, mrvickys.co.uk. A big thanks as well to United Group Travel. They are a UK coach holiday firm based in Morpeth. For just £30 deposit, you can book a trip across the UK. There are no strangers on their buses, just friends you haven't met yet. They're taking bookings now for 2024 tours, and you can call them on 01670 632 460 or mobile 0791 666 4174 or 07957 141 654. Big thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the video side of things. And a big thanks as well to New Workwear. You can find them at newworkwear.com. Please subscribe to the channel. All you need to do is hit the subscribe button. It's free. Hit the thumb up under the video to like the video and click share to share to your other social media. We're also available as a podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast providers. If you want to help the channel financially, why not take out a one-off £25 membership? What do you get for your money? You get a scarf, you get a pen, you get a membership card, and a cup, and you get entry into the monthly draw. How do you do it? Go to NUFCmatters.com, If you've got a smartphone, put your smartphone over this QR code and it will take you straight there. We also support the food bank on this channel. How do we do it? We do it virtually. NUFCfansfoodbank.co.uk is the website. If you want to make a virtual donation today, go to that website and you can top up what they collect at the food bank outside the ground. We always advertise events on this channel as well. If you've got an event to advertise which has got a Newcastle United theme, please let us know. An evening with Frank Clark and John Gibson takes place at the Irish Centre. Tickets are £15. NUFCmatters.com for your tickets. The Tyne Theatre and Opera House are holding an event with Keegan, Beardsley and Waddle, the class of 84, 25th of January 2024. And you can book now 0844 249 1000. That's 0844 249 1000. If you go to NUFCmatters.com as well, we've got a couple of raffles ongoing. The Alan Shearer signed ball raffle, £1 a ticket. And the Kieran Trippier picture, £1 a ticket for that as well. And once the tickets are sold, the draw will be done. We've also got some T-shirts, which you can buy. The latest one, the latest hot seller is this one. Geordie's on tour. I've never seen a Mackem in Milan T-shirt with all of our Champions League fixtures on the back. Get yourself to NUFCmatters.com. Buy one today. And don't forget the Northeast Brekkie Show, 7 till 9, Monday to Friday on tuneradio.co.uk. You can also get us on DAB Radio, smart speakers, app, and online. Oh, great, finished. Don't forget as well.
I was going to put my sleeping hat on.
Your wee Willy Winky hat.
Yeah.
Don't forget as well, it is National Curry Week. Raval, I was there this morning with Dave from the Northeast Brekkie Show. They are having a special week this week. Every tikka masala ordered, they will give the equivalent of that to feeding families based in Gateshead to help feed local people. Great idea. Great thing for us to be backing on NUFC Matters. If you want to book a curry, go to rivaluk.com and book online, quote NUFC Matters 2023, and any day up to Saturday, you will get 20% off your bill. So we are supporting that. And you also go into a free raffle for an Alan Shearer signed ball as well. So we've done our little bit for that. And there is the tikka masala at the restaurant. It looks absolutely gorgeous, although I wouldn't recommend eating it at 8 o'clock in the morning like I did this morning. Moving on, Kevin, we are going to come to you. PSG this week. I said earlier, this is an opportunity for Newcastle fans, young and old, to really enjoy the occasion, because Mbappe, quite clearly one of the world's best players, coming to St James's Park. He's in the squad. We know he's going to feature. We know he's going to play in some shape or form. This is like Barcelona. This is a huge opportunity for us, Kevin. Massive game.
Yeah, I was at the Barcelona game when I was a kid, and it's just memories for me, you know. And what I would say is, well, from a player's perspective, is you have to take the emotion out of the game. Let the fans have that. Yes, still have emotion, still have drive, still have the endeavour to win or do whatever the tactical plan is. But let the fans have all the emotion and create an unbelievable atmosphere going in the game. You do your job. Let the fans do their job, essentially. To be honest, I don't really care if he's playing or not, because I think he blows hot and cold sometimes. I don't watch a lot of French football, to be honest. I don't watch. Again, I don't really care who we play. It could be, I say to my teams, it could be the best team in the world, it could be the worst team in the world. We've got to do what we have to do and perform on the day or perform the night. We do what we do. If we play, and what I would say to players is, can we play like the Premier League in that night? Can we make it like a Premier League night under the lights on a Wednesday, but can we make it a Premier League game? Because I don't think they like that. If we get in the face, like we did against Man City in the second half, I think they not crumble, but I think they'll absorb a lot of pressure, then play on the counter-attack. I think that's what they'll do with a lot of pace, what they have. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, to be perfectly honest. So I just can't wait for the game, to be fair. I genuinely can't, because it's the first time in 20 years that we had a home game in the Champions League. And it's going to be, for those who are going, quite envious that I can't get there. But enjoy the experience, enjoy the moment, be present, and be literally, like Eddie Howe always says, be the 12th man. So like I said, I'm not bothered if PSG are coming. It It could be again Burton Albion on a Wednesday night. We've still got to show up. We've still got to play the game. I mean, if we do what we do, then I think we'd be more than fine.
Okay. Is it a bigger game than West Ham, Ian, Kevin? Sorry, because essentially Alan said that's more important. I mean, getting 3 points on the board against West Ham.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it's both. Again, quoting Eddie Howe, is your next game? Well, who's your next game? That's what we're trying to go and get. I mean, I'll take a point off PSG now and have 2 points on the board. I'll take that. If we get a win, we get a win. But yeah, both. I mean, I've just looked at some things. I mean, West Ham doesn't look like they're great defensively. We've got the the top goal scorers in the league. We've only conceded 7, and we've got the third best goal, one of the best goal differences in the country. So we go down there with a lot of confidence. Obviously, I don't watch West Ham a lot, but again, it's still a big game. But that's not next. We've got to play PSG first and get through them. Then we'll worry about West Ham. But again, both are big games. Every game's a big game, in my opinion. Doesn't matter who we play.
Yeah. Okay, Ian. In the scale of 1 to 10, how big's this game?
10. Biggest game for 20 years, but it's longer than that. It's a massive game. I honestly think I completely agree. If we play our game, let's be honest, the league they're playing in it's not a farmers league, but it's not, it's nowhere near the level that we play week in, week out. I very much doubt that their bunch of prima donnas will be as up for the game as we are, as fit as we are. Second half, I think we'll run them ragged. I really do. I think it's, as long as we go out with confidence and play our game, stick to our tactics, I think we've got a really good chance. And I've looked at it from the point of view of looking at the players, and yeah, they've got some world-class players, but so have we, and our world-class players, as far as I can see, seem to be really all performing at the moment at top level, and theirs, from what I've seen and the limited amount that I've had a look at, aren't really pulling up any trees. So I think we go out there with full confidence. I'm hoping from 10 minutes before, 20 minutes before the game, the noise in that stadium, is where it should be. Not to put a negative on it, but like where I was sat anyway on Saturday, there was a lot of bystanders, if you want to put it that way, sat around and not getting involved. And I don't think that's going to be the case on Wednesday. I think it's going to be mental, and fingers crossed. Fingers crossed the atmosphere is at top level and the noise. And yeah, I think we'll do well. Okay,
Alan, you mentioned it before, and a few people in the chat have asked, about this. Asked the panel: is this game more important, or is the West Ham game more important? Also, a lot of people regularly. No one submits it as a lookalike. A lot of people saying, "Are you related to Anthony Gordon?" I think it's the hair, Alan. Is that Gordon's dad, second from left bottom row? Just to clarify, Alan is no relation to Anthony Gordon.
I wish he had his money. I've been told that I'm something the footballer that used to play for Newcastle many times on different shows with the same name.
But yeah, this game, I mean, you mentioned it before. I think a lot of people in the chat agree with you. West Ham is more important.
Yeah, I do. I'd say if realistically, we're going to win the competition. But what I say is, I agree with Kevin as well. Every game's so important, like Ian says. I'll take a point now, to be honest with you, lads. I really would. But again, come to Kevin, the atmosphere at Barcelona is still, in my 50 years of watching Newcastle, is still in the top 5 of atmospheres I've ever seen in my life. That night will always remain with us for life, and it's a great experience. And I hope everybody that cherishes the moment. It's a fantastic experience. And we want them back there on the pitch, because he is probably arguably one of the great players of his generation, and I want to see them on the pitch. And if we create atmosphere, the Daily Mail ran an article about them and, mock-up of Mbappe in a black and white shirt, but surely that's what you want. You want players who are the world's best at Newcastle. And if the atmosphere is fantastic, you might just turn around and go, I want to play this in the future. Maybe it's not him, but some of the world's players and some of the players that are in the PSG team now that we don't think of might say, hey, I'll have a bit of this if Newcastle come calling. You know, and that's what you've got to look at, lads. It's a stepping stone, and it's a great occasion. And as long as the lads don't get overawed, like I said, the first game against AC Milan, go for it. I just want them to get over the halfway line, lads, this time, instead of being frightened of their own shadow. But if we play that game, we've got a chance. But for me, West Ham's far more important to me, lads, going in the international break and being up there, because Man City got beat, and them 4 top places fighting for 8 teams is wide open. Wide open. We've got to take it, and we've got to win on Sunday. More important to me. But I want to win both. To be honest, I'm greedy. I want to win both. But if you put us on the spot, which is more important, definitely West Ham for me, lads.
Yeah, okay. Listen. That's what it's all about. Opinions. Okay. What about what about you, Donald? Give us your views on this PSG game. It's great. We've got the laser display, the drone display tonight. Sorry, above St James's Park. Can't do it tomorrow. Can't do it tomorrow. The license only runs till 3 o'clock. So I think we're going to get a display at 8 o'clock and a display at about quarter to 9, or is it quarter to 10? But there's going to be another display. Seller have put their money into this. So what's your views?
Yeah, drone display, brilliant. I mean, it's stuff of dreams, isn't it? Having a display like that. I think we've all seen the footage and the various photos on their social media. Brilliant. But going to the PSG game, this has got me quite excited, because I remember going to. I wasn't there for obviously Barcelona, but I went to the Juventus game in 2002, and Juventus had their Galacticos out that day in Buffon and Nedved. And if I remember right, I think Del Piero might have been playing as well that day. And I was like, what? And I was like going, I wonder how we'll do. And lo and behold, Andy Griffin did the business. But yeah, this is great. I mean, to get to see world stars, playing on our home ground, brilliant. But I just hope those that are there really add to the atmosphere, be that 12th man. And just to quote Lemmy and the players, on Wednesday, it's all about the game and how you play it. That's it. And I'll leave it there.
Okay, you've been relegated to the bottom row, Darren, but that means you're next. So PSG, excited about this one, mate?
I cannot wait. I know last end of the season last year, we were playing for Champions League football. Now we're in Champions League football. West Ham's next Sunday. I want to go on Wednesday night, give 110%. For win, I'm buzzing. If we get beat, but play great, I'm not bothered. We won a Champions League football, didn't we? You wanted it. You were saying it. I'm not there. I want to take a draw. I don't want to draw. I want to win, because Dortmund's going to be hard. AC Milan's going to be hard in the Champions League. So you've got to. You can't afford to be negativity in the Champions League. You've got to win, and then after Wednesday we're playing West Ham. That will be a hard game, but again, the Premier League's hard this year. It's more hard than ever. We've got players missing, but go on Wednesday, just give 110%. If we play like Ian said, our tactics, our tempo will win all day long. But if we get beat but love to play great, I'm happy.
Okay. Barry, thoughts about this one? PSG, Champions League music's going to be bellowing around St James's Park for the first time in almost over 20 years. The hairs on the back of everyone's neck is going to be standing up, even mine.
It's just one of those days when you want to be a fan, isn't it? You look back in the history of Newcastle and some of the games we've played against. I mean, George will obviously know about the 69 Fairs Cup run. I know what Alan's saying, but what will people remember? Will they remember a Premier League game on Saturday against West Ham, regardless of the result, or will they remember the night that PSG came to St James's Park and we had Mbappe, we had Marquinhos, we had these unbelievable players, Hernandez, who we were trying to sign. You've got Eddie Howe battling his wits against Luis Enrique, who's for me, he's one of the best managers in the world, coaching wise. And you just think this is the stuff the football dreams are made of. I know the Champions League is important, and I know finishing as high as possible at the table is important, but this is the stuff you want as a Newcastle fan. These don't come along very often. It's God knows how many years since we were in this competition. I think the fans who've got tickets to the game want to just, like Kev says, go thoroughly enjoy yourselves. Make sure you're the 12th man. Yes, we looked as though we struggled a little bit away at Milan. We shouldn't have that at home. On our day with the fans behind Newcastle and St James, we can beat anybody. Yes, PSG are a decent side, but are they better than Man City? Not really. I wouldn't have said so. And we bloody well pushed Man City and have done the last couple of times we played them, and we've had nothing to worry about. I think go for it. On our day, if Bruno plays as well as he has done the last couple of games, Isaac up front, we could well turn them over, Steve. I think it's there for the taking. And if it doesn't, does it mean that much? You'll still remember the experience. You know what I mean? You'll still remember the game against PSG.
It's not the end of the world. We get beat.
Nah, correct. Nah, there's other games, but this is one that will stick in your memory. The day that Mbappe played at St James's Park, it may never happen again. It'll probably be the one time he ever plays there. Just make the most of it, guys.
That first crunching tackle that goes in, that we don't get a yellow card for anyway. That first crunching tackle that goes in as early as possible, the crowd go mental, and that'll set it off. That's what I'm hoping for. Good start, and get everyone going.
Big Dan Burns sends Mbappe a 3 foot up in the air within the first 3 minutes. Go on, son.
They've got. I mean, it means nothing to me. I've got to be perfectly honest, but they've got Istvan Kovacs, who is the referee, who comes highly recommended, very well respected in the game. Took charge of a semi-final between Real Madrid and Man City, and apparently was one of the best refereeing displays in the Champions League. So, it sounds like we've got a good referee, which makes a hell of a difference. And let's face it, the
Caveat, Steve, where's he from?
Romania, isn't it?
Oh, well, that could get a bit tasty then if he's a Romanian. I mean, they like to have a kick and a scrap, so,
Yeah, could be interesting. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll just be our look to get for him to have a howler on the night, but we'll see. George, PSG, and hopefully there is a bus strike, George. Hopefully you'll be able to get a taxi, but I presume this is your return to St James's.
No, it's not. I made a long time ago. I promised a little group of guys who have a little club and they wanted somebody to go and do a talk for them about things marine on the river, and I said I would do it, and I'm not going to let them down. The little club's, on its last legs, so that's what I'll be doing while the match is going on. I'll be standing up there, spouting forth, boring the arses off them. But
that says a lot about you, George. That's
well done, George. Well done.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. It says that I didn't expect Champions League football a year ago, did I? That's what it's saying. None of it did, I don't think, really. We're hoping above hope, but that actually happened. And the lads are right. Just hope the team and the fans just go and enjoy it. I mean, I've had the luck to see it all, and mentioning the Fairs Cup's a good choice actually, because we got into the Fairs Cup by fluke because of this one club, one city rule and all sorts of other rules, and all the rules went against everybody else, and we were in. And the national press was saying, God, they'll get slaughtered. The press was horrible. No encouragement whatsoever. And I'm reliably informed on people around the dressing room that the manager used those things to G up the players and say, hey, they're saying you're rubbish. Have a go. Show them what you like. And they did. Then they just went and enjoyed it. And that's the key tomorrow night. The lads play to what they can, respond to the fans the way for normal home matches, the way they do at normal home matches. Then we could give PSG a fright. And I do think somebody said it. Second half, towards the last quarter of an hour, they're not used to the intensity of our league for 90 minutes. They're lucky if they get 70 minutes of football. And I reckon the last 20 minutes, they could be blown out of their ear holes. And that's a time that could easily be the time we're going have a go at them and slot a couple in towards the end. So, no, it's amazing, and everybody goes to have a fantastic time. And, I'll catch up with the footballs sooner or later. But, it's just enjoy the occasion. I hope the players do as well. I mean, imagine young Elliot Anderson and Longstaff and all those local lads getting that at St James's Park. You know, you couldn't write a storybook about it. I would just love one of them to slot a winner in for. That would be the fairy tale for me. So looking forward to it. I don't think we've anything to fear about if we play a normal game and have a go at it. As for West Ham, well, we'll do West Ham on Sunday as well. I'm confident of that.
Come on.
Oh, go on, George. Chippers, PSG, biggest game in many a year at St James's Park, and you know, the crowd, young and old, will get an opportunity to hear that Champions League music once again. It's about the occasion for me. I'm just, you know, this is what last season was all about. We've just got to enjoy it. Whatever the outcome, we've got to enjoy it. And judging by Eddie Howe's team in the league and in the cup game this season already against, you know, the game against Man City we've just watched, this team on Wednesday won't, you know, they won't give in. That's one thing for certain. It's been proven now. Even Lascelles and Dummett playing centre half, they gave a good account of themselves. So you know, this is a huge game, isn't it, Chippers?
Yeah, well, like Donald said, I was there when we beat Juventus 20 years ago, and that was some night to beat them on home turf. The thing I'll say about PSG is, are they a good team or are they a team of individuals? Because every time I seem to watch them play, they don't, you know, if something doesn't happen, they're always arguing with each other on the pitch. They don't seem to be at one. I think it's a case of if it's Mbappe's way or the highway, to be honest. But obviously, he's the world's best player, there's no doubt on that. But again, will they be used to having people in their faces, stopping them playing, pressing? I mean, there's every chance we might be a fitter team than PSG.
Certainly,
it could be a case of, you know, we're in their faces, we're literally at them, they can't do anything about it. Are they used to teams playing out against them? No, they're not. But again, there's always that threat. But I think for me, it's who's the pressure on? It's on them, not us. I expect everyone's probably expecting us to get beat and turned over. So again, we go out, enjoy it. This is what we worked hard for last season. This is what we wanted. We wanted the best teams at St James's, and we're getting them. Excuse me. So go out there, leave it all on the pitch, and then we'll worry about West Ham on Sunday. So again, as Kevin said earlier, all our games are big. And the more games we play in Europe, etc., they're just going to get bigger and bigger. So let's go out, enjoy it, win, lose, or draw. And you know what? Let's just savor the moment. Just savor it, because not many people will have heard the Champions League being said at St James's and not seen these quality of teams play here. I mean, so let's just have a bit of pride and, you know, let's just enjoy the fact that we're back in the elite. I mean, the AC Milan was a bit of a come down because, well, again, we played defensively, but it's at St James's Park this, and I expect us to play a lot more differently and a lot more intensity. And the Milan game was just when we were starting to turn the corner a bit, so I'll expect the players to be a lot more confident and a lot more up for this than the Milan game, because it being at home and in front of 50,000 people, and yeah, like I've said, let's just enjoy the occasion because they don't come around too often.
Little reminder as well for those of you who were interested in seeing some of the youngsters play. Newcastle United's European Under-19 Youth League tie against PSG does take place on Wednesday. It's a 3:00 kickoff at Gateshead International Stadium. You can get tickets direct from the club. If you go onto NUFC.com, they've got the online link on their page. You can just click on there. Tickets are £5 adults, £2 concessions over 65s and under 18s. But you must buy your tickets online early doors. The main stand opens and its seating is unreserved at 2:00. And yeah, get yourself along. Support the youngsters. If you've got that afternoon off, get yourself along and give the youngsters some support as well. Unconfirmed at the minute, but I have been told that the big market has been reserved for the French fans, pretty much as essentially Newcastle fans went to Milan and got the Canal area reserved. It sounds like the big market is going to be where the French fans are going to be. Obviously, you've got to accommodate them in one part of the town. So nothing 100% confirmed. I've seen no, but I do know a couple of the bar owners down there, and that's what they've said. So maybe that will get announced in due course. But keep an eye on that on all the usual websites for that. Okay, we're going to go around the board now and find out what people's predictions are. A couple of you guys, of course, George and Kevin will be with us tomorrow night when we do the Geordie's here, Geordie's there. But I'll still get your predictions tonight, lads. Chippers, Newcastle United against PSG.
I just quickly forgot to say as well. Remember, it was only 5-6 weeks ago, but Mbappe was on the transfer list and looked like he was going out the door. So it's remarkable how things can change. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think it'll be a game of two halves. I think they'll probably be the better team in the first half, and the second half we'll come out all guns blazing and get a deserved point, and we'll get the players will deservedly get applauded off the pitch for putting in a fantastic shift.
Okay, 1-1 from Chippers. George, how do you see the game going?
2-0 Newcastle.
2-0 to Newcastle, which is what Adieri has said in the chat. Barry?
I think it's going to be a close game. I think first half it'll be 1-1. Then I'm praying Elliot Anderson gets the winner. 5 minutes from time to make it 2-1. I'm going 2-1 to us.
2-1 to Newcastle. Okay, Kevin?
Not convincing, but a very competitive game, tight game. But I think we'll just edge it 2-1.
2-1. Okay, Darren?
2-1. Hat-trick. So 2-1. I'll go for sure Longstaff first goal scorer.
Okay, Donald?
I'm going to go 1-0 win for us.
Alan?
3-1 PSG.
Oh, Alan!
I think we'll get caught up in the moment. I think they're a class act. I really do.
Why did you want Champions League football in last season? You wanted it,
but it's the standard who we're playing, Darren.
I know that, but the full Champions League like that teams. I'm baffled about that.
Well, it's an
I just
interesting.
think they're a better team at the minute with the injuries that we have got. I hope I'm wrong. Hey,
Yeah.
I'd be the happiest Newcastle fan in the world if I'm totally wrong. I'd be jumping up on the ceiling. Darren, I'd be in the loft. On the chandelier on Wednesday night. But they're a class act. You've got to balance it up by being where we are, you know. We might have Murphy playing forward up front. You know, that's a frightening thought. But it's
Right, start smiling.
Yeah, 100% that. But
it's interesting. It's all about opinions, which is what, and I keep saying that's what the fans forum is all about. I predicted Man City to get beat 1-0 by Newcastle last week. When I saw that team sheet an hour before kickoff, I went, I can't believe we are going to get anything other than a good scudding now. If I'd had to make the prediction an hour before kickoff, I would have said Newcastle are going to get beat. But my prediction was 1-0 prior to seeing a team picked. That's the choice we all make when we do these things. But you know what? After that prediction, and after that team performance with Dummett and Lascelles at centre half, etc., I can see what Eddie Howe's done, and players who haven't played for a year, more or less, come in and still doing the same job with the same mantra, with the same work ethic, with the same fitness. My predictions are gonna change. You know, I've got faith in Eddie Howe. I'm gonna nip him before Ian. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win as well. I think Newcastle will beat PSG at home. I think it'll be a different kettle of fish away from home, by the way, but I think we'll beat them at home. Ian.
Well, I disagree with one thing that Alan said, and that's everything. We're going to.
That's just because he's before you each time and he depresses you. That's right.
Okay, hell, man. I wish I was drinking now. I thought I had
well, as long as we get over the whole player line, Ian, I'd be happy if we got a corner.
I know you will, mate. I know you will. I'm only joking.
Yeah, mate.
I'm gonna go just with the reverse of everything that Alan said. I'm gonna go 3-1 to the Tyne.
Come on.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that when the PSG players see Murphy running along with that big stupid smile on his face, they'll absolutely shit themselves and they won't know what's going on. They'll think some nutters on the pitch, and then Murphy will slot one in. And then
Murphy scores you, I'll take you with Alan's face on it.
Who is this Murphy?
And,
What I'll-
I think I honestly think we'll win.
Well, that's great. You've gone for 3-1. That's a pretty positive show tonight. And I've got a little trick up Eddie's sleeve. What he's going to do is he's going to play the NUFC Matters ads on the screen on repeat while PSG are warming up. That'll make them all very tired, Ian, and then they'll not want to put the.
You get Alan in as a motivational speaker.
Get over the half-feeling, lads.
Alan, you did the
PSG
team talk. It'll work.
Send them behind the ball.
Get them a couple of spoons of Mr. Vicky's, they'll be sorted.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sticky Vicky's. What Sticky Vicky's, Barry?
Hot sauces, yeah.
Like Boris says, like Chipper said, it's got to be a great occasion no matter what.
Exactly.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's what it's all about. I'm back tomorrow night with the lads on Geordie's here, Geordie's there. It's a show that everybody wants to watch. We've moved it from Wednesday to Tuesday for this week. There'll be a pre-recorded show with Ben Jacobs on Wednesday. And on Thursday, the show will be pre-recorded with Supermac and Gibbo because we're doing it from Raval. So, yeah, it's a couple of pre-records, but then the Amigos on Friday is live, just to give you a heads up of what's happening this week. But a big thank you to Chippers, to George, to Barry, to Kevin, to Darren, to Donald, to Alan, and to Ian, and to you in the chat and all the moderators as well. Take care. See you tomorrow night.
Enjoy, lads. Enjoy.
Cheers, lads.
Good night.